Hello everybody. Last Friday, that is March 1st, 2024, when I was just skimming through LinkedIn late evening, I saw a very long message from the founder of Matrimony.com, and he was just talking about how Google has delisted Matrimony.com from its Play Store. And I was curious why Google did that. And I started browsing through the internet on what was happening exactly, and this is what I found.
Google has begun removing the apps of 10 companies in India
that have chosen not to comply with the company's app billing policy.
This is like the Lagan system. This is the British Raj. This is the precursor to the British Raj.
So, it is Matrimony.com, Naukri.com, Shadi.com, Kuku FM, and a lot of other apps have been delisted from the Google Play Store. And why? Why is that happening? If you read that message, and if you read messages from Anupam Mittal or the founder of Naukri.com, all these guys, it is being very, very apparent that Google is actually playing their monopoly card and Google is not doing the right thing. But as a business student, as somebody who is interested in the business news, I just wanted to start understanding what Google is talking about. And when I read through, this is what Google has said. Google said that 10 mobile applications have not complied with their billing policies. And they said we have more than 2 lakh plus mobile applications on our Play Store within India, and only 10 of them are not complying with the policies that we have laid out with respect to billing. And hence, we can't give this special treatment for these 10 mobile apps, so we are delisting them from the entire Play Store itself. There is also another point that Google mentioned. They said that these 10 mobile apps are actually following the policies that are laid out by other app stores. So why are they not following our policies? This is Google's version of the story. And what is this tussle all about? We have to start in 2020 to understand what is happening behind the picture. In 2020, Google has come up with a new policy called as Google Play Billing System. And according to this system, the mobile applications which are providing digital services, these apps have to use definitely this Google Play Billing System to collect any kind of money to have the transactions happen on their mobile applications which are on Google Play Store. Now, what are these digital services? For example, Shadi.com's promise for you is, hey, you can go ahead and search for a few profiles on our app. That's it. That is the service that is guaranteed. If I have my app, and if I'm telling that I'm giving you counseling or one-on-one sessions, everything happens on the app itself. Hence, this is a digital service. But if you go and check Swiggy, Swiggy is not a digital service. The app is enabling a restaurant provider to come and give you food. Just a high-level important view, because you need to understand that Google is only charging the commission, and they are saying this is mandatory, and there is a commission of 15 to 30% on in-app purchases for these digital services apps. And that is the reason why only companies like Naukri.com, Shadi.com, Matrimony.com are delisted. Now, these guys, of course, went to the Competition Commission of India and said that, hey, Google cannot do this. Google should allow for us to use some other payment gateway. Why is that? Because Google is charging 15 to 30% commission on every single transaction. Whereas if I use Razorpay or if I use Stripe, these guys charge me only 2% or 3% commission. And Competition Commission of India has ruled in favor of the individual mobile apps and mentioned that Google shall allow these mobile application owners to go ahead and collect their transaction fees through a third-party payment services provider as well. Now, Google also had to pay a fine close to 900 plus crores for this particular decision. Then Google had to, of course, change its policy, and they came up with something interesting. They said that you can use Google Play Billing System and pay 15 to 30% commission. Or the second option they said is you can use the third-party payment provider like Razorpay, but still whatever transaction is happening in the app, you have to pay a commission of 11 to 26% for Google. Or the third option they have given is just make it a consumption app without any kind of payment transactions on the app, and we are not worried about the billing policies itself. Now, these are the three options that Google has given to all the mobile application developers or the companies. And hence, that is where this entire issue is coming up from. And Google mentioned on last Friday that, hey, these apps have not followed the billing policy guidelines, and hence we are delisting. that is where we are. Now, the question that we need to be asking is Google doing the right thing? Now, before jumping into and answering that question, let me share a small example with respect to what happens in the food delivery space. If you go to a restaurant and if you are getting charged, let's say 50 rupees for a plate of idli, on Swiggy or Zomato, you have to pay another 25 rupees for delivery, another 25 rupees for tax, another 25 rupees, let's say, for peak traffic hours. And you are paying them because you want that idli. If you are able to go directly to the restaurant, you will go there. But for your convenience, you are paying so much to Swiggy or Zomato. Now, Google is in that position. Google, Swiggy, Zomato, these guys are in a form of monopoly or duopoly. Google has more than 97% share of the mobile market. That is, more than 97% of the mobiles in India have Android, and hence the Google Play Store. Hence, Google does what Swiggy or Zomato does. However, the commission rates are higher and Google can decide if it is high or low. And in this capitalistic world where we are living, it is all about profits. That's all. However, there is also another important point for this whole debate. Geopolitics is actually determining how technology is consumed, how products are being developed. For example, a few days back, US has announced that they will not allow Chinese cars to be sold in the US. And the reason is simple. These cars have now internet connection and the data would be transferred to China, which is a risk to the American society itself. You can see how different countries are building their own defense mechanisms. In this scenario, it is strategically important for India as well to have its own app store. Well, India already has a good set of digital infrastructure. We have our UPI, also ONDC. Then the next in line is, of course, a native app store. And finally, as the third point, we need to understand that every single company, whether it is Naukri, whether it is Bharat Matrimony, all these guys want to engage with their customers. A policy from Google is actually scary for them and they want to stick to that policy because end of the day, it is for them profits. So by the end of Saturday, some of these apps, Naukri.com, 99acres.com, all of these are already once again listed back on the Play Store. Now, what does this tell you? Did what Google do is wrong? If you are thinking from a pure business standpoint, Google is a monopoly and they are taking that advantage. If you yourself run a business, you want to maximize profits, and that's what Google is doing. And all the other companies, including the government of India, are aware of this fact and they are trying to look for strategic alternatives. Hence, this is all about power play, and this is how the corporate world itself is set up. As a business student or as somebody who is just generally interested in following good news, you have to understand that just don't go by one popularistic opinion. Look at the contrarian view and you will understand why that person might be right or wrong. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you again in next one. Bye bye.